We are in a new location today. If you're a new subscriber, you probably don't notice the difference, but if you've been here for a while, welcome to the new setup. Please let me know what you think. This is all stuff I already had in my house, apart from my play button. I did get someone to film me unboxing it, and it was an utter fail. Not only could I not open the box, but I also could not read the letter YouTube sent with it. It was a disaster. But if you guys want to see it, I'll put it in my next video, just because there has to be a reason for me to just embarrass myself on the internet like that. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. This would not have been possible without you guys, so thank you. So a few weeks ago, we talked about 5 things that we normalize and overconsume without question. And apparently the first list was not good enough, because as I was looking around my house, thinking about things I purchase on the daily, maybe a bit too much of, I realized that there was way more where that came from. So today we're doing a part 2. This is not me saying you can't buy these things, it's just making you more aware of where your consumption habits lie. It's just interesting to unpack these areas and maybe de-influence ourselves from over-consuming in these categories. But before we get into today's content, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Compassion Canada. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about material things that we normalize and overconsume without question. But what would happen if we started to normalize generosity? Psalm 118 verse 24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And what this means is that God is still moving. His promises are still active. He moves first. This is not a someday hope, but it is a call for us to respond today. I've partnered with Compassion Canada to show you guys something I love, their gifts of compassion. If you click the link in my description, you can choose a gift of compassion to give starting at just $10. One time, no subscription, no strings attached. It's about making an intentional choice, one that says, "This is the day that I choose generosity." Compassion Canada is a church-driven and field-led organization working through over 8,500 local churches around the world. Local leaders design and deliver whole life care, spiritual, physical, emotional, educational, and right now that's nearly 2.4 million participants across 29 countries. When Jesus taught us to pray for daily bread, he wasn't pointing us to a someday provision. Daily bread is today's prayer, and sometimes we get to be part of the answer to that prayer for somebody else. So if you've been looking for a way to step back from overconsumption and participate in something that truly matters, visit Compassion Canada and see how you could start small but create something so much bigger. This is the day to move with compassion. Thank you so much to Compassion Canada for sponsoring today's video. So the first category might just be me, but it is a little niche. If you are an animal lover, if you have a pet, then you could probably relate to this one, but for me personally, this category is dog toys. I personally have a dog, which I will show you guys some clips of her as I'm talking throughout this section today. Every PetSmart trip, every Amazon scroll, and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, she needs this little squeaky bat toy. It's so cute. Does she need it? No. Will she destroy it in seconds, eat a wing, or if it has a squeaker, destroy the squeaker? Absolutely. And then Christmas time comes around and we have to spoil her all over again by getting her a reindeer-shaped plushie. And these toys are not cheap either. They can range between like $10 to $15 to $20 for something that will literally be destroyed and not pristine and new and cute anymore in an hour. Then when they destroy that toy, we have to go out and buy more, just so then the cycle keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Now that I'm more aware of this happening, now that I'm kind of calling myself out for it, do I think it's going to make a difference in my shopping habits? I'd like to think so, but at the end of the day, I know how I am and I know I like to spoil my dog, even though she probably won't care. But just seeing how excited she gets anytime we come home from like PetSmart or HomeSense or Winners, she gets so excited and she's waiting for us to get her toy ready so she can play with it. It just warms my heart. But there has to be limits. There has to be limits. And some of the videos we're going to watch today, I don't have that many, but I can understand why people feel the need to purchase that much.
This is my dog's toy bin, and clearly it's out of control. He can't even get to the toys at the bottom anymore. So today we're tackling it. I got these 2 bins at TJ Maxx. These are a lot more shallow, so it'll be a lot easier for him to get his toys out. He clearly has more toys than he can even play with right now, so we're gonna go through and get rid of some. We're going to keep this one because he just got this for Christmas, and
the dog is so unimpressed.
this is one of his favorite toys, so we're keeping. This one I think we can get rid of. I'm probably keeping all of the enrichment toys because he loves enrichment activities. Sea turtle I got for him while I was in Hawaii, keep. I was going to get rid of this rope, but it seems like he wants to keep it. I think this one,
he definitely wants to keep it.
His crunchy carrot. These are his favorite balls. His rare beauty toys are iconic, but he doesn't really play with them a lot, so maybe we'll just keep one and get rid of the other. This one is trash. I was gonna throw this one away, but of course now he wants to keep it. So these are the 2 toy bins, and then these are all all of his enrichment activities. These are getting thrown out. These I'm gonna put in my donation pile. Now his toys are easier for him.
That's actually not a bad idea. I know when that's my dog's name is Arwen. I know when Arwen goes to see her toys, she has a very big toy bin that has her name on it. When she can't find the toy that she's looking for, she gets very upset. She'll start whining, and then other times I'll just look in the toy bin and her head's just like fully immersed in the bin. So I do think what she did there, organizing her toys and putting them in shallower bins, would make it easier for her dog. I like that she was donating some toys. This video just outlines how out of control buying toys for our dog can get. And we don't really understand how many toys they have until we're faced with that kind of problem. There's been so many times where I've had to throw out toys because Arwen has just destroyed them. But that's not the worst video we're gonna see today, so let's watch the next one. I don't think I can play the music for this one for copyright reasons, so I'm gonna try to read the captions as we go along. Does anyone else have a dog toy problem, or is it just me? I've acquired one too many dog toys, and now I have this never-ending pile to sort through before we move. We're not letting any of these toys go to waste, but it's time to figure out which ones are worth keeping. I'm proud of myself for starting to tackle this, but I will need Jarrett to help make some calls. Okay, that's where it ends. So as you can see, her collection is a little bit more out of hand than the other videos we watched, and it seems like it just became a collection of dog toys at that point. But it is good that she's starting to tackle it and go through these things. I feel like moving is one of the pivotal moments where people are faced with their overconsumption habits, and then they're like, wow, I really need to change this habit. I'm assuming the pile in the middle are the toys that she's keeping, and she is keeping quite a lot, but if her dog is attached to every single one, I do not blame her. Gotta take a sip of coffee here. Another area of overconsumption that I have recognized within myself as a dog parent are dog beds. For some reason, I have this problem. I think Arwen needs a bed upgrade every few months, and I don't know what it is. I just really feel like she needs a comfortable place to sleep. She did have this period of time where her allergies were really getting to her. I bought her this really comfy bed. I think I have a video of me purchasing it, so I'll play it over top while I'm talking. But this bed that I picked up for her was super aesthetic, super cozy, orthopedic, like it just hit all the boxes for me. Her bed before that was totally fine. But anyway, we had this bed, and I think it maybe lasted maybe a few months because, like I said, her allergies were really bad and she was just gnawing on her back paws. So I had to wash this bed, like take it apart, wash it so many different times, to the point where the stitching actually came apart, and I don't know how to stitch, like that's just not my thing. But this bed was very hard to keep clean. It stained a lot, and because she's a dog that has jowls, like just the saliva stains were just making the bed look absolutely disgusting. And not only that, but just the way the bed was made, it held on to so much hair, and she's a golden retriever Labrador mix. She sheds like no tomorrow. I swear I'm vacuuming like every other day. So even though it was aesthetic, even though it was cozy, even though it was orthopedic and just seemed like a great bed, she loved that bed. It just wasn't practical for me to keep the maintenance up for, making sure it was a hygienic place for her to sleep. But it came to the point where I had to get rid of it, and I regretted that purchase. And I go back to Winners because that's where we got it, and I see beds of the similar nature, and I'm not tempted anymore. Do I feel bad for having to get rid of it because Arwen was in love with it? Yes, she loves her bed. She has a little area where she sleeps at night, and we put like our little baby gate up so then she stays in there, because otherwise we're getting woken up like every hour because she's jumping on the bed, jumping off the bed, like scratching at the sides, trying to get up, licking her face, sleeping at the head of my husband's side, and then I get a butt in my face. So we went out and bought a different bed, and it's working perfectly fine. I'm not going to buy another bed. I have made it my mission to not buy another bed for this dog. Unless she actually needs one and it's not just me being like,
this one looks more cozy, she's gonna love it way more.
Her bed's totally fine, and half the time she sleeps on the carpet in the hallway anyway. The next area we're going to talk about, and this may hurt some people's feelings, but we're going to talk about video games. And I am talking from this with a place of love for video games. I've been in love with video games since I was a kid. I had the Game Boy, I had the Nintendo DS, I had all the consoles you could probably think of. But we need to talk about the overconsumption that happens within this hobby.
So I've said it before, but my toxic trait is having every single Sims 4 add-on. And no, I don't just mean expansion packs. I mean game packs, stuff packs, even the kits. I have every single one. Why? I have an impulse buying problem.
Gaming is no longer just, I bought a game and now I play it. It's a lifestyle. You buy the game and then you buy the season's pass and then the exclusive skins, because if you don't, you'll be haunted by the fear of missing out. And I can speak from experience. I am a Destiny 2 lover, okay? I have loved Destiny 2 since it was first released. I've been a long-term Destiny player. However, when they come out with those armor skins, I am very tempted to buy the currency in the game. So you have to spend money to buy currency to buy the skins in the game. And I am very tempted because some of the armor that you get just base game is absolutely ugly, unless you're lucky to get a whole set. Have I bought a skin? No. But am I tempted? Yes. But I imagine there are people out there that go all out and buy all the skins. I did do this with Disney Dreamlight Valley. I got gift cards for my birthday for Steam and I spent it all on Disney Dreamlight Valley currency so I could buy things in the storefront every single week, like different skins, different house skins, just a whole bunch of different items. And I believe I might have spent some of my own money as well when I ran out of currency. We're not going to talk about that. These companies know exactly what they're doing. They know how to hit their target audience and they know it well. It's also not enough to just enjoy the game and take it at your own pace. I feel like a lot of these games make it so then you feel like you have to spend a lot of time playing, that you have to keep grinding so you don't fall behind. Gaming has turned into a full-time second job. And sometimes when it feels like a second job, when you're spending that much time playing to get to the next achievement or to level up or to unlock something new, the joy starts to come out of it. And maybe this is just me, but it becomes more of I have to do this, I have to do that. That could just be my personality type. I'm very much the person that when I start something, I have to see it through to completion. And if I don't, I can't relax. And I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I am definitely like that. When I film, I feel the need to film, edit throughout the day, and get it ready to upload to you guys all in the span of one day. I don't need to do that, but I feel like I need to. And the same happens for me with video games. Honestly, any other project I start, I've been like that since I was a kid. And don't even get me started on the time I have spent playing these games. And I know I'm not the only one, but hours vanish so easily. You can blink and before you know it, 10 hours have flown by and you feel like you've got nothing accomplished. This was me when I played Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is one of the best games I have ever played in my whole life. It consumed every area of my life. The only time I stopped playing that game was to eat and to go to the bathroom. I'd come home from work, immediately go to Hogwarts. It got to the point where my family had an intervention for me, and I'm not exaggerating. It was that bad. Not only did I play one playthrough, or 2 or 3, but I have played 4 different playthroughs of this game. So you can imagine how much time I have spent. It's way over 1,000 hours for sure. This is completely normal now. Complete weekends just gone. You don't even know where the time went. And if you don't stay on top of it, the game punishes you. It won't give you the daily reward or whatever. You can't even take a break for a day in some games without it punishing you or you missing an item and having to wait however long before it comes back. And so now it's not even fun. It's just an obligation. We're out here scheduling our lives around virtual events. Our rent depends on it. And for some, that might happen if you're a streamer or you have a gaming channel or something like that. Your rent might actually depend on you playing video games for an extended period of time. But for me, that's not my life. Let me know if you're the same or if it's just me and I desperately need to get into therapy, because it would be a wake-up call if not anyone else is like that and it's just me struggling with this obsession with video games and completing things to completion and all that. So not only did we discuss our time being overconsumed, I guess, playing these games, but we're also going to talk about the collection side of it. It's actually pretty normal now for gamers to collect games. It's an actual collection that people have normalized. Physical copies, special editions, retro consoles, and there are pros to that. It can be nostalgic. It's a legitimate hobby, and in some cases, these games actually go up in value. There's history there, and I get the appeal of wanting a shelf full of games that meant something to you growing up, and also just having the opportunity to play those games again. There have been so many instances where I've wanted to play Nintendogs or something like that from my first Nintendo DS. There's also this one game called Kim Possible, and I really liked that game. Also the Lizzie McGuire game for the Game Boy. There's just so many games that I wish I had access to, so I can understand collecting and everything. I wish I did that with my old games. But anyway, alas, there's a flip side to most things, and this does not exclude video game collections. Most of the time, these games just sit there. They're still sealed and never touched, because now the fun is not playing them, it's acquiring, and the industry feeds into that with all the collector's editions, the bonus content, the exclusive box art. They make it feel like you're missing out if you don't buy the limited edition Zelda Switch or the Pokemon Switch or the Animal Crossing Switch. There's limited editions of all these consoles, but if you already collect Nintendo Switches, for example, then they'll just sit on your shelves and you won't touch them because you're waiting for the next one and the next one and the next one. Collecting can be fun, but it can also become another endless cycle of buying stuff that ultimately gathers dust. And setups? People proudly post $5,000 gaming rooms like it's the standard. Triple monitors, LED lights, custom chairs that look like they belong in a spaceship, which I desperately wish I had. But when did this become normal? When did it become normal to drop thousands of dollars on gaming stuff? And I'm not one to talk, like my husband has a PC, we both have the same monitors. I have a hand-me-down PC, which I didn't pay for from my husband's friend, so thank you, Owen. But I do miss when gaming was just a console and a couch.
Number 1 is the Nintendo DS Lite. I got this when I was in like 6th grade. Before that, I was playing on the NES, SNES, N64, TurboGrafx. This was my very first personal one, so it's so special to me and I'm gonna keep it forever and ever. I have the Nintendo 3DS that I bought secondhand just to play New Leaf. My very first Nintendo Switch, it was a Christmas gift and I started with the Lite and I had it for years and years before I got the regular Switch. This is the second Switch Lite from a partnership I did. I'm gonna give this to a friend or family member. My first regular Switch that I got to be able to record gameplay for my YouTube channel. Kind of Frankenstein this. I bought every single part of the Switch separately because I was saving up for it slowly. The OLED Switch came out and I wasn't convinced until they came out with the Tears of the Kingdom editions. I have a PlayStation and an Xbox. I have a Playdate, which is this cool console that utilizes like this crank on the side in unique ways. I have a Wii and a GameCube. I have the Steam Deck, which allows you to play like all of the PC games that you can't get on like Switch on a portable console. I used this for a while. I was super happy with this. And then I got the ROG Ally. Essentially the same thing, but it's cuter and it uses Windows 11. So it's kind of more intuitive for me to add mods and stuff. True nostalgia console here. This is the PSP. And we got the big boys, the iPad that I play a bunch of like Apple exclusives on. This is my gaming laptop. This is the Asus Zephyrus G14. It runs everything super well. It's never done me wrong. I think that's everything. I want to hear what you have, what you don't have, what you want. I want to hear it.
I want everything. I actually really like her channel. I watch her a lot to find cozy game recommendations because if you're like an Animal Crossing lover or a Stardew Valley lover, those games are awesome, but there's only so much time you can spend playing them before it just gets mundane and boring. So following someone like Cozy Games is actually great because you find games that you might not know about and might actually enjoy a lot. But the point of me showing her video is the fact that you see a lot of these creators posting all of their consoles. And she made it very clear that one was from a sponsorship, and she gave reasonings as to why she bought a lot of these consoles. Buying a console just to play Animal Crossing New Leaf, which is something I definitely would have done if I didn't already have the console and didn't already play New Leaf. I guess I should give you some backstory because I'm in the deinfluencing overconsumption space, and my husband loves technology. He loves it. So any gaming console, any new upgrades, like he's like, we need to have this. It has a better OLED screen. It has this, it has that. And I'm like, do we need it though? We don't. We all have areas where we overconsume. And this video is me pointing out different areas where I overconsume. We are going to get to a category where I don't overconsume as much, but I've seen blow up all over social media. But let's watch another one of these video game collector TikToks.
6,500 games in my collection. Now, which game is the most valuable game in my collection? I get that all the time, and here it is right here. This is a boxed and complete copy of Chrono Trigger, which I found at a garage sale for $2. The funniest thing is, at that garage sale, there was actually 2 copies of this. One was loose and one came complete in the box. Don't believe me? Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CJR.
Dang. Did you see his room though? 6,500 games. He has so many consoles. It looks like you're going into like EB Games or something like that, or GameStop. Multiple different TVs, different computers. That's crazy. I mean, kudos to him for, collecting that much. I know a lot of collectors collect these kind of items over a long period of time. So maybe this was just something he gradually did, which is totally fine. I feel like that's a good way to go about collecting. But if you're going out of your way and buying all of this stuff at once, that's where it's like, wow, that's going to take a hit to your bank account for sure.
Yo, dudes, we did it. I finally got all these games here that I amassed over a long period of time, so now I could just play whatever I want, whenever I want. Alright, I'm gonna go inside and watch some Netflix now.
I feel like that's exactly what happens with most of these people. They collect all these games and then they choose not to play them, and it just becomes something that collects dust on their shelves, which you know what, their money, they can do whatever they want. The thing with these kind of things is that they're reusable and they're not exactly things that are a one-time use and you just throw out. They're not things that have an expiry date, so they can last for years and years and years. And I think that's a key indicator of what's a good thing to collect and what is a bad thing to collect. I think it's a good collection if it doesn't have expiry dates, if they can still be used like 20 years from now, that they hold their value or maybe even increase in value, which this kind of collection does. But we're going to get into another area of collections that do not make any sense to me later on in the video. So now the section we're going to get into is actually a section that a lot of you guys commented that you overconsume in. And it was interesting because my husband and I just had a conversation not too long ago, and I was like, wow, are we also participating in this? And it is the personality trait known as coffee. But coffee is not just coffee anymore. It's a full-blown identity. You're not just a person who likes caffeine, you're a coffee person. You've got the seasonal Starbucks order memorized, the $500 espresso machine at home, and an entire section of your kitchen that looks like a Pinterest board. Gotta have the syrups. Gotta label it too. Yep. I'm surprised there's no Weck jars up there. Ooh, coffee and Jesus. All I need today is a little bit of coffee and a whole lot of Jesus. Love that. I need that poster. I wish I was better at making coffee. I only know how to put the beans in our coffee machine, and that's basically it. But I do wish I was better at using like syrups and everything because I do love a good coffee and I also love a good iced coffee. This isn't realistic for me. It might not be realistic for a lot of you, but maybe it is. And if that's something you're passionate about, I don't see anything wrong with this. And it might actually help you make coffee at home, which will save you a lot of money in the long run. So you're not spending $8 every time you go to Starbucks. So the overconsumption in the coffee category is not only in just how much we drink out of the house, going to Starbucks, going to coffee shops, going to Dunkin', which I've never had a Dunkin' coffee. It's also not just in how much money we spend when we try to curate a coffee bar that's worthy of Pinterest. It's also in how we buy it. In my last video, I pinned a comment where I asked you guys what areas you overconsume in. And one of you guys said coffee. I restock before I finish the current bag that's in use, or if I'm at the grocery store and see a brand new brand or flavor that intrigues me, I buy it without question. At the end of it, I end up drinking the coffee, but yes, maybe I could just buy it when I need to. Now, I don't necessarily think this is an above and beyond means of overconsumption. If the coffee's on sale, if you know you're going to drink it, I don't see anything wrong with buying another bag or stocking up if you know you're not going to be able to get to the grocery store by the time you're finished the next one. There are ways that this makes sense, but if it's not on sale and you aren't concerned about when your next grocery trip will be, then it can become a means of overconsumption. Like if you're buying 3 different bags of coffee before the one you have at home is not even halfway finished. And I feel like a lot of this falls on not TikTok necessarily, but the coffee companies themselves. They drop these limited edition flavors and suddenly we're all stockpiling like it's the apocalypse. Case in point, Starbucks just released some sort of maple flavored coffee that my husband picked up. Like we just had a conversation that it's not going to be around for much longer, so we should probably stock up. If you guys haven't watched Kiki Chanel's video on Alani Nu, it's like the whole situation with Witch's Brew and how people are buying cases upon cases of Alani Nu. And Alani Nu does send me stuff. I do receive Alani Nu drinks in the mail, and I did get Witch's Brew, but if I'm being completely transparent, that flavor is not their best flavor whatsoever. So I don't understand the hype of people spending thousands of dollars on Witch's Brew. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not that good. The hype outweighs how good it is. But basically, this flavor of coffee is that for me. We act like coffee and specific coffee flavors are rare gems that are just going to go extinct, but it's coffee. It's not going anywhere. The way they market it, limited edition, seasonal drops, exclusive flavors, because we've normalized having 5 different coffee bags in our home with all different flavors, guaranteed they're all open and probably all going half stale. So not even going to be that good the next time you try that flavor. And this is an area of overconsumption where I really want to buckle down on because I don't want to waste money. We don't need to have multiple flavors of coffee in our home. We pick one for however long it will last, and then when we're close to being done, then we can go out and buy another one. The fourth category we are going to talk about today is probably one of the most dangerous corners of the internet, and that is perfume talk. And why is it dangerous, you might ask? Because it is one of the most expensive corners of TikTok to be on. Now, some of these people might have started off thinking, I just need one nice perfume for special occasions. Totally reasonable. But now you see people with a vanity full of 30 bottles or more, all lined up like little crystal trophies, and suddenly your one bottle of perfume is just sad, depressing, all alone, and you need to buy another one. Your perfume needs to have a friend. You need to have more choices. And I'll admit it, there is something very aesthetically pleasing about having a perfume collection. It's very, very bougie. Makes you look fancy. And the bottles are absolutely stunning. They look luxurious. It feels like art. And honestly, scent is emotional. Perfume can transport you back to a memory, a season, or even a version of yourself you want to embody. And that's the pro of collecting. It feels personal, it feels meaningful. Unlike buying 12 Stanley Cups for no reason, perfume actually has an element of artistry to it. But the con of this collection is many. Perfumes expire and these bottles do have a shelf life. So even if you do have a collection, you're not going to be able to use it long term. But people are out here stockpiling like there's going to be a worldwide fragrance shortage. You'll never finish all of them before they turn, and that's where it shifts from collecting because you love the art to collecting for the aesthetic, or worse, collecting because TikTok told you to. If I'm being completely honest, a lot of perfumes smell very, very similar to each other, especially if they have the same fragrance notes. Do you need 15 variations of vanilla and musk? Probably not.
I'm somebody that's obsessed with smelling good, so let me show you my fragrance collection. Honestly, didn't used to care like about scents or perfumes that much. I would get like one for Christmas and then use it all year, and that was fine for me.
That's what happens with me. That's all I get is a one perfume for Christmas, and it lasts me for a year or maybe more.
But I feel like TikTok is the reason I got into it because I started getting those Sol de Janeiro sprays, and I am doing a body spray separate video collection because that's like a whole other mountain to climb.
In that whole sentence, the most important part of her statement was, I feel like TikTok made me do it. Case in point, people, case in point, TikTok influences what we do with our money, what we do with our time, and what we see and what we take in very much dictates how we respond and how we act and our consumption habits. One thing you're going to notice about this video is that all these perfumes are from the exact same company. Well, maybe not the exact same company, but each line is from the exact same company. They're just different scents. And this to me just shows that it's more about the aesthetic than actually liking the scents, because there's no way you're going to like every single scent that every single brand does and feel the need to purchase all of them because you're going to use them. If we look at ones that have clear bottles, you can see that they are not even hardly used, if they're even used at all. So this next video we're going to watch, she is actually a fragrance TikToker influencer. So it makes sense as to why she has so many bottles. But even then, she says it's not even all of them. It is an excessive collection for sure. But that's another thing we need to keep in mind, is that some of these people are fragrance influencers. They get sent a lot of things. It's their job to review things. It makes sense as to why they might hold on to things.
So I have over 1,000 perfumes in my collection. This isn't even all of them. So let's put them back on the shelves.
Seeing her organize her collection, I can't even imagine how much time that took to put everything back on the shelves and organize it. Probably a whole day. In her caption, she says, organizing my 1,000 plus perfume collection. This isn't even my full collection. I know this is an excessive amount of perfumes to own, and I don't believe anyone needs this many. Realistically, you only need a few perfumes to cover all bases. However, I am a collector and this is my passion. I try to clean and organize my collection every 3 months, but I've been a little busy recently, so it was due for a really good clean. I put my music on and just enjoy rediscovering some of my fave fragrances. So she collects perfumes, and that's all fine and dandy, but like I said, the cons outweigh the pros. While it may look pretty, if she opens them or uses them, they have a shelf life. They're going to expire. For me personally, when I see collections like this, I just see thousands of dollars flushed down the toilet, and maybe you guys agree, maybe you don't. That's just my opinion. I'm not judging her for it, but that's all I see when I look at these videos. The last area of overconsumption we are going to look at is electronics. I'm not talking video games or video game consoles per se, but I'm talking about iPhones, MacBooks, like different areas of technology that we overconsume without question, all of us. Electronics are probably one of the biggest culprits when it comes to normalized overconsumption, and we don't even question it anymore. New phone coming out, great, we're upgrading, even though the old one works perfectly fine. But this isn't just phones, it's also laptops. There are so many people out there that are dropping $2,500 on the newest MacBook because it has some kind of chip that sounds like an Avenger, the M4 Ultra Titanium Pro Max, when the last MacBook they bought 2 years ago is probably still running like a dream. It's not just a laptop upgrade at this point, it's a status symbol, and when they come out with new aesthetic colors, that's an even bigger incentive for people to spend money that they don't necessarily need to spend in that moment. They might want to spend it, but they don't need to spend it. Now, this is where it gets hilarious because it's been so normalized to upgrade your phone when a new model comes out. But now the new trend that I'm seeing online is downgrading. Flip phones are back, people. They're back. People are ditching smartphones to escape social media and the constant notifications, and on paper that sounds amazing, especially for those that get easily overstimulated, but they're still buying something new and they're still participating in overconsumption. They're buying these cute minimalist flip phones, they call them the dumb phones, because TikTok told them it's the aesthetic way to detox from tech. There's no better feeling than just flipping open your flip phone and like calling somebody. That was like the good old days. But the thing is, these flip phones that they're buying still have the social media apps on there. They still have touchscreen screens, and they're still posting these videos on their other phone, the phone that they probably actually use. So they're not really getting a break from anything. Instead of buying a new device, you can literally ditch the app. Just hold it down and hit delete.
This is just a friendly reminder that you don't need to buy something to solve your problem. I have been seeing so many videos of people getting flip phones because they want to separate themselves from their smartphone, their apps, their social media addiction. I also saw a thing for a brick where it's always selling us something to solve our problems when we have a smartphone in our hand. You can customize this whole thing. You can delete your apps. You can deactivate your social media. You can literally take all of your apps off your home screen so that it's just black. You can turn it to black and white so that you're not intrigued and enticed to come on with the monkey brain color that it gives us. You can put on parental controls for yourself. I do that. I have like a 10-minute limit on TikTok. Do I slam the button, don't remind me again? Yes, I do, but it still is a reminder of you're spending too much time on social media. We're at the stage of capitalism that they're trying to sell you the solution when you already have the solution. Overconsumption is tacky. Buying things you don't need is tacky. Buying mostly new products when you can go down to the thrift store or you can trade with your friends and your family is tacky. Take a breath and have some self-control. In these times, it is more important than ever that you are the one in the driver's seat of your mind, body, and soul, regardless of people trying to tap in and take advantage of you.
And not only are they buying these new flip phones, but they're also decorating them to make them cute. So we've got overconsumption on overconsumption. Digital minimalism has become a look, it's become a vibe, and vibes cost money. So even when we're opting out, we're still buying in, and it's feeding the cycle. Tech overconsumption is so normalized that even our rebellion against it becomes commodified. Whether it's the latest iPhone, the latest MacBook, the latest Nintendo Switch, downgrading to a flip phone, it's all the same thing, spending money to perform an identity. And we don't even question it anymore. And hopefully after this video, we start to question a lot more about what we're purchasing, how we're participating in overconsumption. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. If there's anything that hasn't been listed in my first video and hasn't been listed in this video, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear what your shopping habits are. God bless you all, and until next time.